There you go. And this is how you remove trim that you don't need. Watch the Trans Am. Oh, watch me, Jesus. And then that's
how you do. This is probably the 100th time we've cleaned this garage. It won't be the last. Give it a day, it's going to be a complete disaster again. Tools laying around everywhere, sockets, bolts flying all over the place.
Yep.
But we got the car in here.
We got a list. Good thing Christmas is coming up. Just kidding. We plan to have this done way before Christmas.
What's this plan you're working on here?
Not just where to start. That's what I think the best would be, is get the fluids out, the battery out, airbox out of the way, radiator out of the way, get the harness out of the way, jack it up, get the wheels off, pop the axles out, and that really should be everything we need to do to be able to get to the motor mounts, you know, loosen them up and drop the motor right out the bottom. So
Now that we got it in the light.
now we don't need this transmission too, so this is an automatic transmission. We have a 6-speed from the TSX Savior that we're going to pick up this weekend hopefully, and get the MR2 over here.
Now that we got it in the light, let's do a little walker on this thing. You can see where it's crunched.
You like our EK Civic radiator to get the car home?
This car had major front end damage. The hood we basically ripped off with a shovel and a crowbar in a gas station parking lot.
We'll put them right here.
The motor runs really good.
Yeah, strong motor.
It's pretty crunched in here.
K24.
But the rest of the car,
Pretty ugly.
there is not one salvageable piece. Maybe the radio.
Like, there's no selling this as a show.
No.
There's no parts left on there.
Some of the panels are fine. Maybe.
A couple doors. I mean, come on.
But the car is a real piece of crap.
I'm just gonna sell it to whatever a pull apart yard's gonna give me to come tow it away.
Although we do have our neighbor up here that might want it.
My clothes I don't care about because I know I'm about to get filthy. If anyone who knows what it's like working in a garage, man, drive mechanics, man, you're not staying clean. You're crawling around in the dirt. You're in the trenches. You know how it goes.
So, we might set up a time lapse here.
We're gonna set up a time lapse. GoPro's charging. You know, we got our liquid wrench.
We're going to start ripping things apart.
Here we go.
We'll be right back. So I was just looking over Taylor's list here, and apparently we've got a time limit on pulling this motor. How many hours?
You can read.
So we're going to do it in 4 hours max. We'll have this motor out, sitting on the floor. How many to get it into the MR2? One. How many to get the MR2 running?
8.
Honestly.
8.5.
Alright, so we realized one thing. With the Civics, we were able just to slip the motor right out the bottom of the car. The motor literally unbolted from the motor mounts, and we were able just to lower it down with jacks. But we realized with this car, it's got this big subframe type K-member type subframe deal going all the way around. Don't know if you can see that. And the motor clearly will not fit between it to just drop it out. So I think we got a couple options. We can either
Time to get the sawzall.
we can either start cutting, or we can separate the motor and the transmission, remove them separately.
Remember, we don't need this shell. Shell is toast.
We don't need the shell. We're hoping we can unbolt this entire subframe and separate it from the car, and take the whole motor out that way.
All right. Battery out, airbox out. I'm just going to put a little plus under this 4, and I'm going to do probably another 4 hours
Go
here.
ahead. Just to be safe, we might not need those 4,
We
but
thought we could drop this motor out the bottom pretty easy. Well, guess what? There's a big ass K-member subframe brace in the way.
we're seriously considering the Sawzall option because
We don't need it. We just need this motor. We don't need the transmission. We just need the motor, the harness, ECU.
What have we got here?
This is how you do it. You drop a motor, you better make sure you're eating right. If you ain't pulling a motor.
It's Famous Dave's. Never had Famous Dave's. He said Famous Dave's.
Looks good to me.
Alright, so where are we at?
Well, the radiator's out. That's what we've done. We got the radiator out, so we're staying true to the time.
Could tell me a lot of those extra 4.
Next is K-member, I guess.
Let's get a better look at this. Hopefully the camera can see what we're talking about. So this car's got this whole subframe K-member deal. And you're saying that we can unbolt the whole thing from the car and leave it attached to the motor?
You were saying that too?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
So we're gonna have to try.
And Google said that it should work.
Yep.
Got the fenders out of the way.
Yep.
Perfect.
What do you guys think you know how to roll fenders?
That did give us quite a bit of extra working room. We still don't know
I'm
what...
tempted to cut this off right here because it's already ruined. We can get this whole bar out of the way right here.
Can't. Taylor's got his glasses on.
Safety first.
I've got stuff stuck in my eye before.
I say safety
It
third.
hurts. Nothing is worse than something stuck in your eye.
I don't know.
Monster. Alright, since we're pulling this motor out the top and the whole front end has been crushed in and completely ruined, we just gotta cut it out of the way. Otherwise it's gonna be an issue.
As far as we're concerned, it's a junkyard TSX.
Be careful here.
I never knew how good new blades cut.
I know.
Holy crap.
You made me do it?
Yeah, we need a new blade.
Holy crap. There we go. This is how we remove trim. That's in the way.
Yeah, fuck that trim.
There we go.
I can't say that. My
He's,
bad.
I don't know what broke. I think it was the bolt.
good.
Just like you wanted it.
Update. 4 hours in. Boom. Added extra 4 on there, so it looks like that is actually what I should have started with. Well, anyways, the list up here. You get around our fender.
Get that fender out of the way.
You ever seen a Lambo fender?
Goldwing.
Lambo doors were cool. Lambo fenders are gonna be the new thing. Watch. Trademarking that. Fluids out. Battery out. Airbox out. Radiator out. Harness.
Good enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much out. Axles tomorrow.
Got
Motor
saws
runs
off?
tomorrow. Drive motor is gold. Yeah, so look at this. Sure, making our way downtown, aren't we?
Moving fast.
we're gonna buy engine hoist tomorrow. So we get a press two, step it up a little bit. Might be changing locations to a nice pro garage mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Setup. So we'll see what happens. Well, we got all the nuts and bolts from the car so far, and it's really meant 04 TSX fender actually.
Well, that one got a little damaged.
It's a Lambo fender. Okay. It goes up like this, and then you show everybody like your stretch tire or your crazy camber.
The rest of the car has a lot of resale value, though.
When you leave the meet, you just put your
Fold it back.
back down and not try to kill yourself.
You didn't latch it.
The latch isn't on.
Obviously.
It's just a little damage. That's not too bad.
We're good.
So at this point, we're a little worried about the resale value on this thing.
Yeah, it's good. Nothing to worry about.
This fender here is the
And a Bondo out. I saw this really cool video with Top Ramen. Alright, once you get your Lambo fender up, you get the mosey on down here. The axle nut. So this is not the 32 like I have right here. So now we have to hunt in the garage for one size bigger.
I think I've got a 34.
So Ryan's gonna go hunt that down and
Get the axles out.
Let the axles out, and then we'll be able to get the motor out with our newly acquired Pittsburgh
$100.
engine hoist.
$100 used. Had Black Widows living in it.
Yeah, and we both almost got bit by it, never even knew.
Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so we've got a lot of work done. We got the axles out finally. These were not, it was actually not too bad on this car. Just the mid-mount that bolts right up under here. The bolts were a real pain to get to. You can kind of see the three, well, it's dark. You can kind of see those 3 bolt holes right there. They were a pain, and they were 14, which was the one size we couldn't find anywhere. But we now know that a 9/16 is about the same size as a 14, so that worked. Buddy. Otherwise, those came out real easy. We used the axe to beat the axles out of the brakes, hubs, whatever those are. But, okay, now we're on to power steering. We've already drained the canister into a bucket. We've got it off. And now we're just trying to figure out what to do about the power steering. We know that the
Well, we know the MR2 has electronic power steering, so there is no need for this. So what we have to do is we need to delete this, and then we have to look up what belt size we need to run everything else still. Let's get that out of the way, though. That'll save us a bunch of room.
Yep. Then we got to figure out if we're going to attempt to keep AC or not.
Yeah, AC is coming up next, and that's going to be a weird one.
I'm tempted to say we get it running without the AC first. We'll just get the right size belt.
Yeah, of course.
And then make that a project afterwards.
It's winter anyway, so we got about 6 months of cold.
Yep. So that's where we're at.
A while to figure it out.
We're making quick work of it, so we'll be back soon with more. Alright, so we've made great progress. We got the power steering totally disconnected. There's a few grounds still hanging on. We don't know where exactly. There's a couple of them around the car. There's one. So we think the last thing that we got to do before we can actually start pulling things is get the ECU push, or get the harness pushed through, which Taylor's working on now. He asked for an extension. I asked him what side, and he said a nice one. So I got a nice sized extension for him in here, and I think he's working on it. Let's see.
Yo. Just trying to pull this connector out of this, but it's being a real pain.
What is that, the immobilizer unit, I think?
Yeah.
But the ECU on these is
right there.
Right there. It is not
out
easy
the
to
way.
get to. It is way back there on this car.
And we're gonna need special star heads on there.
I'll go get the security key set while you're working on that.
Alright.
But that's where we're at. Once we get the ECU out, we should be able to pull the harness the rest of the way through. Yeah. And at that point, we'll start disconnecting grounds and loosening motor mount bolts. And we should be able to start at least putting some tension on the motor to see what all we're forgetting before we can pull it out. So, all right, we'll be back with more. So we finally got the ECU out. We're trying to figure out what to do about the immobilizer. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Honda on this car, which I believe completely eliminates the need for the immobilizer. We did get the ECU out, and I think, I'm almost certain this one is compatible with the K Pro, but I guess we'll find out. I don't know what this thing is, but it says impedance matching, Pioneer, something, Honda. Assuming it's some kind of little amp for the audio. Don't know. But you can see we got the ECU completely out. And we pushed the harness through, which was actually surprisingly easy. You just had to take, you can see it's got all these big gray clips clipped along the harness. I don't know what that is. We were able to push it through the firewall to that side, which was actually not that difficult. So there's the harness.
We got it all pulled through the firewall right there.
Here's
now
the
we're
hole.
just seeing what else is connected. There's not really much left. Once we get all that disconnected, we'll find out where we're gonna hook up this hoist to, and she's coming out.
What are you doing, dog? You keep getting stuck at the same spot. Come on, you know the routine. Anyways, big update. We've got the car still in the air, but we do have most everything else out. We've got the hoist stood up. You need another open hand. And we're plucking off the final strings that are hanging this thing on. Got a little tension on the chain, and we should be able to start loosening things up, I think. There you go. By the way, these Milwaukee gloves, they're really nice. I bought these earlier, but Taylor was doing a whole lot more work than me.
Go figure.
So I donated them. He kept hurting his hand.
It's okay, we came up with $1 million idea. Don't say nothing.
We can't say nothing yet, but info more to come. Why do you need to go in there? Look, you're scratching the paint. You are scratching the paint.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? We're getting real close to pulling this thing out. Notice how you get the rear engine bracket out on a TSX.
I stole this method from the cameraman, by the way. Let it know you came up with this. Standing in here.
I only learned this from being a pro garage mechanic.
That's right, baby. All right. We have pretty much got everything done. We're down to the last motor mount on the back. We got all the rest undone. Now what Ryan's doing is he's cutting the booster hoses off because why?
Because, come look at this clamp over here.
Because Ryan.
Somebody in Japan, they're very smart engineers, they designed these clamps where there's no way to get them off. No set of pliers will ever grab both of those at the same time to get off. So, we've got another tool for the job. I'll show you guys how we get these. So, we've got a gun.
Not a real gun. For the record, YouTube.
And basically you just shank the crap out of it like this until the thing comes out. You just saw at it, gun at it, like this. Then you do the bottom like that. Try to get as few wires as you can along the way.
Don't get any wires if possible along the way.
Alright, what's up, guys? So we think we got everything we need out of the TSX, but we noticed there's still a lot of pieces of harness here. A lot of it for things we know we won't need. I think this is ABS and brake system, brake full sensor, and just a lot of other little things here.
What were you saying about that brake sensor?
I'm just saying, like, chances are we probably won't need it, but it's such a simple thing. Having a connector, depending on what ECU you go with, if you go with Fuel Tech or if you just do a Honda, it'd be very easy to, like, adapt this stuff to, you know, we could marry the ECUs together.
Oh, dun 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 dun. Okay,
Yeah,
now.
yeah, piggybacking this kind of stuff is so easy. Just to have, like, a sensor that tells you if your brake master thing is empty or not. So we're going to try to keep as much of it as we can. I'm just violently kind of ripping it out, though, as you can see, just like that. But we're trying to keep as much of it in one piece as we can. We're just going to pull this out and just keep it. Probably won't need it if anybody wants to buy it.
Yep.
So.
There you go. And this is how you remove trim that you don't need. Watch the Trans Am. Oh, watch me, Jesus. And then that's
How you do. Well, that's a strong pair, boys.
you always gotta have yourself a Ryan. Who else is gonna do this? 'Cause I know not me. I'd probably just taken it off the right way. But all right. Now that's like leg. Oh, okay. A lot of pent up aggression from his childhood.
This is the strongest piece of the whole thing right here. Anyways, got that out of the way.
What are you struggling with?
Let's see if I can get this clip undone. This is one of those brand new clips that I've never encountered before. See this thing?
Oh, that big white bad boy.
You ever seen one of those?
I'm looking at one right now, I guess.
This probably goes in the fuse box on the inside.
This is how bad boys take apart cars, huh? Big white bad boys.
That's right.
Named Ryan.
How do you get this open?
I can fix your car. I'll do it for free. It's cool. Don't worry. You can get it back. It's like this. I was looking for free hardwares.
How do you open this?
By the time you see Ryan snap his fingers, we'll be back. Ready? Snap your fingers and bring him back, Ryan. Future. Alright. As you can see, we pretty much got everything stripped off the car. Don't know what we're really going to need for the rest of this stuff, so we just grabbed like the fuel fitting and the junction box and cut the harness back at the firewall. We don't need all those wires, we only need a few. And I think that we're good, so we're getting ready to push this out, push the MR2 in, and then we're going to work on the rest of the removal over here on the motor to get it prepped to go on the MR2.
Wait, can you show the back of your shirt?
Soon. We're working there.
Well, we had a minor issue. What happened here?
Crashed into a TSX.
Oh wait, we're temporarily parking.
TSX hit us, and the motor flew out in our engine hoist.
Well, here, come look at this motor real quick before we push that. We got the motor out. Fighting with this mount just a little bit here. Taylor's pushing this into the driveway all by himself. Holy crap, I thought he was gonna do it. Alright guys, we are dumping the old crap. Might fall apart. Riding real close. As you can see, this is very unsafe. Park. Let me drive your car.
Let me drive. I've been sitting out in this car, waiting. This seat sucks. Look at this. It's not even gonna feel good sitting on it. You got me out here waiting, just wishing. Let me drive. Let me drive your car.